one of the other things that they talked about, which is a little bit more our speed, Arcade 1Up showed off a bunch of new things that they're going to do. What about AMD parts? It's the same thing. It would have to be a mini ITX board. AMD CPUs are pretty amazing right now, so that's probably going to be the way to go. Plus, liquid coolers use distilled electronics. So Arcade 1Up showed off these machines. They talked about some of the new stuff that's coming our way. Technically, they've already got it. The first one that we're gonna talk about is Wing Zero. I'm gonna talk about that one last because I have a love-hate relationship with that particular release, and I'm gonna tell you why. The first one that I want to talk about though is Burger Time. There's a Burger Time arcade cabinet designed to look like the old Burger Time machine. It is going to have Burger Time, Karate Champ, Bad Dudes, and Caveman Ninja, which Caveman Ninja came out as a game called Joe and Mac for the SNES. In the UK, wasn't Joe and Mac the one that the naming convention was like all over the place because it was the arcade version was called something, but then the home version was called something, but then the home version in the UK was something else. I think it was this game where the name was just a disaster. But Caveman Ninja is Joe and Mac. So it's all coming out on this one machine. It's like $400. I'm not a huge fan of these prices for these Arcade 1Up machines. I really don't like them. I know that they're premium prices, and I know that these things go on sale, but $400 for a very unique machine with the 4 joysticks. By the way, the 4 joysticks, it's hard to see in that picture. There are 4 joysticks. That is not for 4 players. That is for 2 players. I believe it was Karate Champ uses 2 joysticks. So each player would have 2 joysticks. That's cool. I like that as an idea because it's a unique control scheme. If you ever watch Pat the NES Punk, him and Ian, they always talk about it. And Ian and I share the same opinion when it comes to this stuff, which is I like arcade machines with unique control schemes. If all I need is a controller and buttons, I can play that anywhere. But there's nothing like playing Centipede with the trackball. There's nothing like playing the Star Wars machine, the original Star Wars machine with the handle. Tempest with the wheel. The unique control schemes are what sell me. So the fact that this has the dual arcade sticks sells me very well on that as a concept. Still, it's $400 for 4 games. It looks adorable, but you're not gonna sell me on that. I saw some arcade cabinets. At least they're arcade for Walmart. 150, 200. Yeah, that's about right. That's some of them. If they're on sale, $150 to $200 might be what you're looking at. Yeah, Karate Champ had you move both sticks in different directions to do different moves. It was a pain to get it to do what you want. Yeah, Karate Champ wasn't the best game. Well, I just remember like point. that's all I remember from Karate Champ. Oh, and feeling like I would have been happier if I kept my quarters. After that, these are very interesting. These are the simulated pinball machines. Sorry, my eye is like super itchy. These are simulated pinball machines. I believe they have screens for the playfield, and then they have the screens up top. Now they're designed to look like the Attack from Mars and Star Wars pinball machines. Both very good quality pinball games. I love the arcade. Yeah, the arcade light gun games you said with the unique control style. Both very unique pinball games. Very I would say iconic. I think personally these machines were kind of, especially the Attack from Mars machine. Each of these machines is going to retail, I believe, I have the article here on Pop Insider, $600, I think, are these machines. It will retail for around $600 in the third quarter. They have feedback. They have what's called haptic feedback. So you're going to feel like you're playing an actual pinball machine. Each of these will feature 10 games, but I don't have a list. I don't know if they released a list for which games are going to be on here. I like these. Again, the price is a bit high, but again, we're talking about unique games. We're talking about something that you can't get anywhere else. God help you if you find one of these machines, like just the machine. You know, if you find an arcade, an Attack from Mars or a Star Wars machine, you're going to pay $2,000, if not more, and you're only going to have one game. And let's face it, older pinball games, they break down. There's a lot of moving parts, which means there's a lot of stuff that can go wrong. So $600 for these machines is not actually that bad. I would like to know what the 10 games are. It needs to have. I'll tell you what games I would want, and I don't know what games would even be possible. The Medieval Madness is one of my favorite pinball machines ever. I think that's one of the best pinball games ever. Star Wars Trilogy was an amazing pinball game. It was a glitched machine though. Wing Zero. The Star Wars Trilogy had a build error, I would say, where when you got it, there was one shoot where if you dropped it into there and it spit the ball back out, it always spit it right down perfectly between the flippers. You could not hit it. So we got into the habit of pushing the machine a little bit to shift the ball so that it wouldn't do that, because if you didn't do that, it would always fall. I don't know if it was a machine flaw, if it was a design flaw, or if the mechanism that ejected the ball just needed to be either strengthened or weakened. But yeah, it was really bad. It was really kind of bad. I mean, we got the hang of it, and we learned how to fix it. You mean tilting? No, tilting would happen if you do it too much. Which another favorite of mine is the X-Files pinball game. I absolutely love the X-Files pinball game. We used to work at the arcade, so if you've ever seen the tilt mechanism, it might be different for different machines. The tilt mechanism was a pendulum. It was a little sensor. I'm not making the hand gesture. It was a little sensor, and it was a pendulum. And so then when you shook the machine, the pendulum would move around, and if it touched the sides too much, like Operation, the machine would tilt. We opened it once, and we wrapped the pendulum in paper towels so it wouldn't move. So we all had the high scores on the X-Files pinball machine, because when the ball would go down, we would lift the machine up, and it would roll the ball back onto the field. Like we played the hell out of the game so much, we were like, we'll just do this for fun and we'll see. It was hilarious though, because people would come in and look at the machine and go, how the hell did anybody get 200 million points in this game? Because I think the game popped at like 10 million. So we would play it for, individual games would go on for an hour. I'm not talking about the pinball machine. Oh, you're talking about the arcade, the Star Wars Trilogy machine. I do like that machine. Oh, okay, Wing Zero. You're talking about full size, the regular arcade cabinets. So yeah, the Medieval Madness, Star Wars Trilogy, not the original Star Wars game, the Star Wars Trilogy game, X-Files, and the Super Mario World pinball machine, which I cannot ever find. I think is a fantastic pinball machine. I would love to be able to play that game again. Whether or not you like it out of context, Twitter would use that. Have you ever seen the Super Mario pinball machine? Maybe Gorgar. I've never seen Gorgar pinball. The Street Fighter pinball, I never played. I never saw the Street Fighter pinball. Simpsons I remember seeing, but I don't ever remember playing that. Oh, and of course, the Terminator 2 had a pinball machine that everybody loved. The problem with the Terminator 2 pinball machine is that one of the coolest things was the button to shoot the ball back into the field was like the handle of a gun. So it was like the handle of one of the laser rifles. So you would have that, and that was always kind of cool. But you couldn't have that on one of these kinds of machines. Super Mario Versus, I've not played. There's a Super Mario World. Yeah, I want to no. Was it Super Mario World or was it Super Mario 3? Hold on. See, now I'm all interested. Super Mario because there was two of them. No, not pinball. Pinball. Hold on. Because now I want to see which machine is which. Is it this one? Oh my god, I'm looking at one right here for $5,000. It just says Super Mario Bros. So I guess it's maybe just the first one. Yeah, it just says Super Mario Bros. But it's from Gottlieb, and that is $5,000 with $500 shipping. So affordable. Buy it. I think there was a South Park pinball machine. Is the story in the machines the same as the game? I gotta hope so. Yeah, so I think these machines are kind of cool. I think these little arcade machines, these little pinball simulation machines are kind of cool. Again, $600 is oof. But, I guess it's a matter of what comes up. Oh, wait, here you go. I changed the picture. They also announced some other stuff, like some small tabletop arcade machines, like Frogger and whatnot. Nothing super fancy. I can't find any good information on those yet. What is this? Yeah, not that one. Bert, not that machine. That's like the mini machine. It's the one with the blue side. So they also announced the NBA Jam arcade 1-Up machine, which I believe is going to include NBA Jam Tournament Edition, and NBA Hang Time. They were all pretty much the same game. Let me close all of these extra. Let me close these windows that I don't need. My RAM is weeping. Right. Okay. So, later, Real Edgy, have a good one. Thank you for stopping in. Thank you again for the subscription. They announced these the NBA Jam machines, and NBA Jam is fine. It's a 4-player machine, which I think is really cool. The coolest feature is that these are supposed to be online compatible. You're going to be able to use these machines, hook them up, go online, and play against other people that have these machines. I think that is an amazing feature. My problem is, I think that's an amazing feature that I wish was on the other machines. I feel like you could have sold so many more of these machines, specifically like the Marvel vs. Capcom, or the Marvel Superheroes machine that has some of the Marvel the fighting games on it. And then there was a Street Fighter machine. How amazing would those machines have been if from day one you could have gone online and fought other people who had these machines? I think this is that's an awesome thing. I would love for them to go back and figure out some way to add that capability to the old machines. A part that you buy extra, or add it to the newer machines that come out. I love this feature. It's still not worth it for me because it's still NBA Jam, and I was sort of hot and cold with NBA Jam. Like it was fun, but it was also still basketball. Great, you're talking dirty again, and I love it. Yeah, it would be nice to have some of these features for some of these other games. You had like the Ninja Turtles machines. It would be cool to have that for the multiplayer aspect of it. But specifically for the fighting games, I think it would be amazing to be able to plug in these machines and fight other people. I think it would have been an amazing selling point. Yeah, there's the Mortal Kombat machine. If they re-release the Marvel vs. Capcom or Mortal Kombat with online, I'd be the first in line to buy one. You know what, Sentinel? And the thing I fear is that people would be upset. They're going to be angry because, oh, well, I bought this machine. I paid $300 for this machine, and now there's another one that I have to buy. Which, again, I'm going to say this now, and I'm going to say it again later. You don't have to buy anything, but there's going to be people that are kind of upset. So I would say, well, maybe there's a part that you can sell for the old machines. So you go and you say, oh, I'm going to buy the new machine, or I'm just going to buy this $50 part and it's going to give me the online capability or some kind of, the online capability and a firmware update. And that would allow you to play online. I think there's a lot of people that would be more interested in these machines if that were the case. I've been kind of interested in the Neo Geo machine. It's the Neo Geo Fight Stick that has the 20 games built into it. It's a much better price than these. I mean, obviously it's just an arcade stick with the games built into it, but my understanding is that has online capabilities. So there's going to be somewhere that you can use it to play online. I think that's what it was supposed to be. That's cool. That's great. I got out of fighting games because I had nobody to play against with them. And now that I can go online and play them, I just don't. I don't know. You young kids. I used to be with it, but then they changed what it was. Now what I'm with isn't it, and what's it seems way too complicated. They need to do a compilation of the early Marvel vs. I thought they. Oh no, not the Marvel vs. games. Because the one that they released had Children of the Atom and Marvel Superheroes, right? Yeah, because I don't X-Men versus Street Fighter. Because what was it? It was X-Men versus Street Fighter, Marvel versus Capcom, and Marvel versus Street Fighter, and then Marvel versus Capcom. Let's play F-Zero AX. Not sure if that made it over here to the UK. I don't even remember seeing that over here in the US. Online play for a Simpsons arcade machine would be amazing. Yeah, with the oh my god, the X-Men machine. If you release one of those with the X-Men on it and give that online, 6-player online, man, people would love that stuff. I would love to be able to stream with a machine like that. They ever release Killer Instinct? I'd be burning. Oh my god, a Killer Instinct machine. I would get an arcade stick just to play Killer Instinct. I love Killer Instinct so much. That's a game that I always wanted to get really good at with all of the characters. And I only ever really learned Saberwolf, Orchid, and I used to play as Spinal. But Spinal is, for anybody that has never played the first Killer Instinct, Spinal is wildly technical compared to the other characters. So I ended up not playing as him. But Saberwolf is definitely my character. But yeah, I think a lot of these arcade machines are cool. I think that they're really interesting to look at. They also did somebody mentioned it earlier, they're doing the sit-down Star Wars one, which is a very cute-looking machine. It's, it's small, but it's got a seat big enough for a normal-sized person. I might be pushing it. Spinal in K1 is super technical.
Your ideas are intriguing to me, and I wish to subscribe to your newsletter.
Jose Camilo 04, thank you so much for the follow. Very much appreciate it. Does that carry? I have never played. I played Killer Instinct 2, and I was terrible at it. Killer Instinct Gold on the 64, I was a little bit better, but the 64 controller was a disaster to try and play fighting games with. And I've never played. I don't think I ever. Oh no! I played it on SGB, the new one on the Xbox One. But I don't have an Xbox One, so I never really had access to learn that game extremely well. I ever played Mario Kart Arcade? Once. I played it once, and I did like it. I actually did like that machine. Hot take on but I think the older arcade games like X-Men Arcade and the Simpsons Arcade are better than the newer stuff. What newer stuff? I don't. Are they still making arcade games? I don't even know. Like, I don't even think they're making arcade games anymore. I don't really have access to many arcade games. I couldn't tell you the last new arcade game I've ever seen. I don't know what the last time I saw a brand new machine was. It's kind of a shame too, man. I love arcades. I love the social aspect of arcades. That's permission to leave to watch it. Yeah. Yes, I mean it'll cost you 10 gifted tier 3 subs. No, oh my god, don't actually do that. Does DDR count? DDR counts. You're gonna find that in arcades, but there's a difference. You're not gonna find arcades. There aren't as many arcades the way they used to be. Sort of not dank, but very close, intimate places where the games are the focus. You know, the kinds of places you find DDR machines now, they're ticket machines. The whole point is so that you play the games to win tickets to pay for prizes up at the counter. Raw Thrills still makes them, I think. I think Japan still has arcade. Yeah. We have a bowling alley here too that has a small arcade in it. Though not been there in a while. But not new machines. That's my point. You're not getting new arcade machines. Not that I'm seeing anyway. Other than the ticket type games, you know, because I see like when Fruit Ninja, for anybody that remembers Fruit Ninja when that was popular for like a year, there are Fruit Ninja, it's like a 45-inch screen that you play Fruit Ninja on at the arcade. Like, that's cool. I like that. My eye's so itchy. Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing is better than Mario Kart Arcade. I'd be interested in Virtual On machine. Virtual On was a unique machine. That was a dual stick machine, right? That was 2 sticks or twin sticks. I know it plays like a twin stick shooter. The last new machine I saw was the Walking Dead rail shooter. If you want to count Dave & Buster's as an arcade, yeah, absolutely, I count that as an arcade. But other than that, I don't know about any arcade. I absolutely count Dave & Buster's as an arcade, but it is a ticket redemption arcade. The whole point of most of those games is that you win some sort of tickets so that you can collect prizes. There are very few games there that you just play. There's always like a Miss Pac-Man machine or something, but that's pretty, you know, maybe a couple pinball machines, if even that. But everything else there are ticket machines. The intention is they're games of chance or they're trivia, and the point is to win as many tickets as you can and get prizes, which is great. I got some cool stuff from Dave & Buster's. I'm not arguing against ticket machines. I like that stuff. There are arcades in my state. The closest I have to an arcade is actually not far. It is a putt-putt mini golf, and they have some arcade games in there. The last time I was there was a couple of years ago, and they actually had the Simpsons arcade machine. But when I got there too early and the machines weren't on yet, and the guy looked like I was disturbing his entire life when I asked if he could turn on the machine so that I could play it. So I've never gone back. The arcade near me are the standard coin machines. No tickets on the arcade side. On the bar side, they have a few ticket machines. I have a barcade in my area. Okay. I have a barcade accessible to me. Not necessarily close, but accessible. Close enough for me to be able to go to. I don't like it. I do not like barcade. When I went to barcade, when I heard about it, I thought, oh, an arcade, but there's a bar in it. And I thought, oh, that's awesome. When I got there, what I found was a bar with arcade games in it. The bar was the focus. The bar was always the focus. It is like craft beers. It's not like a beer and pretzel type place. You know what I mean? Like pretzels and peanuts on the counter. Like it is a fancy, quote unquote, beer. I went on an afternoon, and it was great because I was able to play the games. I went on a Saturday night one time and stayed for a half an hour and then left. It was jam-packed with a lot of people who you could tell don't care about playing arcade games. They would put their quarter in the Frogger machine, and they would wiggle the joystick and mash the button or something, and that was it. And then they would walk away, and that was fine. It was just like, what are you even doing here? Go drink your craft beer. Go drink your beer. It's got a hint of orange in it. Go drink it. Get out of my way so I can play the arcade machine. it just drove me crazy. So I think that was the last time I went. I don't think I ever went back after that. It was. I wanted an arcade with a bar in it, and I got a bar with some arcade games. A fantastic selection of games. But yes, and all older games. There was nothing like a Street Fighter machine. There wasn't a King of Fighters machine or anything like that. It was all older games. It was catering to and you would think that it would cater to an older crowd, Like, oh, we're trying to sell these boomers their childhood back. It wasn't like that. They were blatantly, the whole thing was marketed towards younger people who never got to play these games, and now they just want to say that they played these games. That's it. They don't want to actually be challenged at these games. There's a Fun Spot in Massachusetts and a few in Chicago that are big. The shopping center in my area has got some arcade machines. There's also Chuck E. Cheese. I would go to Chuck E. Cheese. My problem is I am 42 years old. People like to drink more than game. Yeah, gaming isn't the main societal focus, which is sad because that's what I loved about arcades the most. Is that it was a focus that we had, that gamers had, that geeks and nerds had, where we could, on a Friday night and a Saturday night, we don't have a lot that we can do. People who love alcohol can find a bar on any other corner. If you love sports, you can go to one of those bars and watch sports. If you like video games and stuff, there's not a lot for us to do on Fridays and Saturday nights. We can't go out, and there's not a great place for us to meet our friends and hang out there. That's why I missed arcades. That's why if I ever had the opportunity, I would open an arcade, even though I know an arcade would fail. An arcade would probably fail as a business unless it was something else. Looking at a list of arcade games, there aren't too many. One of the latest is House of the Dead Scarlet Dawn in 2018. Though I spent most of my time, I did go to the arcade playing the second machine. ARP Arcade has Nintendo 64. See, that's great, Nico. That's awesome. That's cool. I don't know what the arcade. Ours was just terrible. Maybe we need like Candy Crush arcades. God no. And I'm sure there is. I'm sure there's a Candy Crush arcade game. No fighting games. Yeah, that's what I like. Would you like some Miss Pac-Man, Boomer? Ours has a bowling alley. There's half alley, quarter bar, and quarter arcade. The arcade is built purely as an arcade. The bar is set up like an American style diner. I like that. I have where I go to bowl. I think they have like a claw machine and a couple of driving games. Chuck E. Cheese is still around. There's one near us. I know that there's one near here. There are more nightclubs for socializing than arcades in the U.S. at this point. Actually, I miss arcades. There was 2 arcades where I used to go to all the time, and I would go there alone. Like, I would go there by myself. My friends would be doing something or wouldn't be around. I would just go to the arcade, and I liked that, and I could still interact with people, to an extent. Buy back your childhood and or drink your woes away. In Illinois, there's Galloping Ghost. If I lived closer, I'd go there all the time, but I can't justify it just for that right now. We have Time Crisis 4, Sega Rally, Tekken, House of the Dead, The Walking Dead, a few air hockey. Air hockey, yeah. I have to be careful with air hockey. I get overzealous when I play an air hockey game. Mine has a handful of real classic arcade games and a ton more interactive modern games like the ones you sit in a vehicle. Yeah, those interactive machines. Dave & Buster's. That's the Dave & Buster's is like that. Dave & Buster's has a lot of the few machines that are not ticket machines at Dave & Buster's are typically interactive machines like racing or sit down. Like there was always a Jurassic Park game where you sit down and you shoot. It's like an enclosed booth and you would shoot at the dinosaurs, which is very aggressive. And then there's always, 1 or 2 Pac-Man Galaga combination machines or something. Just for everybody else. Just something for me. Actually, I can't lie, though, because when I go to Dave & Buster's, I play the trivia machine where you've got like 8 spaces for people to sit and you play trivia against each other. I love that. I play that the whole time that I'm there. I work at one and we had like current consoles set up to big projector screens and we used to run tournaments, but after a while they just stopped performing well. It's because it's a fun niche thing that people like to experiment with, and then they stop doing it and then they just don't want to do it anymore. Yeah, I'd open a bar with arcade machines that only played game music. Yeah, that's something like what I would do. What I would love to do is open up a huge space with arcade machines, vending machines for the snacks and everything, tables to play card and tabletop games, and then another tabled off area, like a couple of different tables with chairs and everything for D&D, so that D&D groups can show up. Because I know that one of the biggest problems with D&D is that it's a lot of the time it's difficult for people to have a place to meet up, especially for the older D&D players who they have families, they have situations where time is sort of a factor and nobody can meet up at just the right time. So the idea of being able to provide a space where D&D players could meet up on a regular basis and play, I think that people would be very open to that. You know, I've got vending machines with all the food and snacks and everything, tabletop places, you know, places that people want to come and play Friday Night Magic, if they just want to play Magic, because I know that that's like a huge thing for Friday Night Magic. You know, consoles with video games set up. You do fighting game tournaments. You can do, if you want to do like card gaming tournaments, arcade tournaments. You've got the arcade machines there. I don't know. I think that would be a really cool idea. I think that that's something that people would love to have, but it's a lot of overhead, and then if it fails hard. There was also an arcade machine outside of a grocery. Oh, that sounds so great. Oh, if you like this stuff, there is an anime called High Score Girl that you might enjoy. I did not enjoy it because I hated the main characters, but I thought that because they talk about arcade games when they were coming up. Like the kid in the show, he's playing Street Fighter machines, and they're talking about arcade video games. So it's nice. It's the time period that they're talking about and they're showing off is very cool, but the characters themselves are terrible. Oh, that's the new location to talk about. Oh, this Jurassic Park machine or the older one? Let me see here. There was one. I think there was one before that, because this is just a motion machine. I think this is just a motion machine. The one that I'm thinking of had light guns. Oh, what about Lucky Star? I haven't watched Lucky Star. I haven't watched all of it. I know of it, and I've watched certain scenes from it, but I never watched all of it. So yeah, NBA Jam machine, online capabilities, sounds super cool. But I have not been hitting my topic change button. Yes.